So first of all, we spent much of the year talking about the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, which happened, of course, last month. But another UN meeting due to take place in Kunming in China is now in danger of being delayed for the fourth time due to the rapid spread of the latest COVID variant. At stake is a deal to safeguard ecosystems. So are we in danger of forgetting the importance of biodiversity? Chidi, what do you think? How important is it that this Kunming summit goes ahead, do you think?
The Kunming summit is pivotal. The fact that it's been postponed again, even after it was made primarily online last year, kind of gives everybody the impression that the ambitions that we have for biodiversity have frankly crashed through the floor. We can't allow the broader issue of how our ecosystems function to be overshadowed by politics, convenience, and a tendency to focus on the headline issues of carbon rather than the broader natural systems within.
Chidi, your line just froze there for a moment. I'm going to move over to Jen, but I will come back to you and hopefully it'll revive itself. But Jen, do you agree with that? I mean, the world hasn't done brilliantly on meeting biodiversity targets that were set in Japan in 2010. So how important is this summit and what does need to be done?
This summit is very important. It's as important as Glasgow. It's as important as any other major meeting where countries set rules for themselves that they have to follow. They didn't do a great job the last time. They set rules and targets for nature. They didn't fully meet any of the targets. So Kunming is very important. It will go ahead. It'll be postponed, partly because there was a meeting that's supposed to happen before the COP. It was postponed because of worries about Omicron. And there has to procedurally be a bit of time between that meeting and the COP. So Kunming, I think, is still very much on the cards, still going to happen. It's just a bit of a delay, hopefully just for procedural reasons.
And Chidi, expand a little bit more on why you think it's important to tackle both biodiversity and climate change together.
Thank you very much for that. Biodiversity is the broader picture. It's our ecosystem, it's our home, it's our planet. It's the very land we stand on, the air we breathe. The decarbonization priorities of the COP process are a subset of biodiversity. So if we don't get biodiversity right, we can't get carbon sequestration right in a holistic, continuous, and sustainable way. Even though COP26 gets all the headlines, the actual broader natural systems in which we sit deserve just as much or maybe even more attention.
Chidi, your system is teasing us. We're getting dramatic pauses occasionally, but we are getting the gist of what you're saying. Jen, very briefly, is it easier in some ways for people to relate to the whole nature issue than climate change?
I think so. We walk through nature, we see nature, we hear nature. It's all around us all the time. The climate system is invisible in a way. You know, we sort of get inklings here and there and hints that maybe the climate's changing, but it's often in numbers and models and figures. But nature, we know, we have a deep connection with nature going back to poetry and stories from our ancestors way, way back. So I think people do understand the need to protect nature and they get behind that sort of action.